Today we're counting down palaces that are worth billions with AB, and trust me, this shit is absolutely insane. We're talking about Buckingham Palace with 775 rooms that's valued at over $5 billion, the Sultan of Brunei's palace with 1,788 rooms and a garage for 500 cars. These aren't just houses. They're literal kingdoms with gold-plated everything, chandeliers worth more than your entire neighborhood, and more bathrooms than most hotels have rooms. Before we dive into the most ridiculously expensive palaces on earth that make billionaire mansions look like cardboard boxes, we're grinding to hit 1,000 subscribers and we need your help, so smash that subscribe button right now. Today, we're exploring 6 of the most expensive palaces on earth, each valued in the billions, each carrying secrets, legends, and luxuries you may struggle to even imagine. 1. The Forbidden City, Beijing, $70 billion. Let's begin in the heart of Beijing. The crown jewel of Imperial China, the Forbidden City. Built over 600 years ago during the Ming Dynasty, this vast complex became the home of 24 emperors across nearly 5 centuries. It stretches across 72 hectares, containing 980 buildings and nearly 10,000 rooms. That number itself is symbolic. 10,000 was considered a divine number, reserved for heaven. So the emperor's palace had 9,999. Absolute perfection, just one step below the divine. To even step inside without permission was once punishable by death. This was more than a palace. It was the home of the Son of Heaven, a place where the emperor was believed to maintain the cosmic balance itself. Its modern valuation of $70 billion comes not only from the land in central Beijing but also from the treasures it contains. Priceless jade ornaments, silk tapestries woven over years by master craftsmen, thrones and halls decorated with dragon motifs. Every surface here is layered in history and unimaginable wealth. Its architecture is pure symbolism. Following the strict principles of feng shui, the halls align on a perfect central axis. Yellow glazed tiles shimmer in the sun, the imperial color forbidden to all but the emperor. In the Hall of Supreme Harmony, hundreds of officials once bowed in silence before the dragon throne, incense burning in the air, ceremonial music echoing off carved beams. To stand here was to feel insignificant in the presence of divine authority. Beyond the public courts lay the private world of the emperor and his family. Here, empresses schemed, princes plotted succession, and whispers could decide the fate of a dynasty. Today, millions of tourists flood its courtyards. And yet, even in the noise of cameras and footsteps, the Forbidden City still feels like stepping into another reality, a world where emperors ruled as gods. 2. Palace of Versailles, France, $50 billion. From ancient China, we travel to France, where a hunting lodge became a monument to absolute power, the Palace of Versailles. In 1623, King Louis XIII built a simple retreat. But it was his son, Louis XIV, the Sun King, who transformed it into something Europe had never seen before. By 1682, he had moved his entire court here, forcing the nobility to live under his gaze. Instead of plotting against him in Paris, nobles competed for his favor in Versailles. The finished palace spans 63,000 square meters with over 2,000 rooms. But it is the Hall of Mirrors that dazzles most. 73 meters long, with 357 mirrors reflecting sunlight from arched windows. In the 17th century, mirrors were as valuable as warships. Venice held a monopoly on mirror production. To cover an entire gallery in them was an audacious statement. France's wealth could not be matched. Every morning, courtiers gathered to watch the king wake, the lever. Even this private act was theater, reinforcing his divine aura. Outside, 800 hectares of manicured gardens stretched into the horizon. André Le Nôtre's designs were so vast that entire pumping systems had to be engineered just to power the fountains. Versailles was more than luxury. It was a political weapon. To walk through its mirrored halls or stand beneath its golden ceilings was to feel overwhelmed by French magnificence. But the excess had consequences. In 1789, revolutionaries marched on Versailles, ending over a century of royal control. The same palace that once intimidated Europe became the symbol of inequality that toppled a monarchy. Today, 15 million visitors each year walk through its gardens and mirrored halls, dazzled, but also reminded of how power can rise and fall. Segment 3. Tokyo Imperial Palace, Japan, $11 billion. In the heart of Tokyo lies another palace. One that represents survival, resilience, and rebirth. The Tokyo Imperial Palace. This site was once Edo Castle, home of the Tokugawa shogunate, rulers of Japan for over 250 years. After the Meiji Restoration in 1869, the emperor moved the capital from Kyoto to Tokyo, and Edo Castle became the new imperial palace. But on May 25, 1945, American bombers reduced it to ashes. The air raid leveled central Tokyo. The palace, like much of the city, was destroyed. Yet out of the destruction came renewal. In 1968, the new palace rose, designed by architect Junzo Yoshimura. He created a structure that fused modern materials like concrete and steel with traditional Japanese forms. Sloping tiled roofs, tatami interiors, coffered ceilings, combined with banquet halls and staterooms for a modern nation. Perhaps the most remarkable fact isn't the buildings, but the land. Set within Tokyo's core, one of the most expensive real estate markets on Earth, the palace grounds, 1.1 square kilometers, are valued at over $11 billion. During the 80s bubble economy, they were worth more than all the real estate in California combined. Stone walls and moats still surround it. Inside, carefully maintained gardens offer tranquility in one of the densest cities on Earth. The Tokugakudo Music Hall, built in the 60s, remains a marvel of acoustics and design. The palace today is less a display of excess than a symbol of endurance. A reminder that Japan's identity survived war and re-emerged stronger, balanced between tradition and modernity. 4. Buckingham Palace, UK, $4 billion. Across the world in London stands Buckingham Palace. Its estimated value, between $1 and $4 billion. But its true worth cannot be measured. Originally built in 1703 as Buckingham House, it became a royal residence when King George III bought it for Queen Charlotte. Their 14 children were raised here. But it was George IV who turned it into a palace fit to rival Versailles, commissioning architect John Nash. Costs spiraled out of control, nearly bankrupting the treasury. The palace truly came into its own in 1837, when Queen Victoria made it the official royal residence. Since then, it has been the stage for nearly every royal milestone. The throne room hosted coronations. The picture gallery holds masterpieces by Rembrandt, Rubens, and Van Dyck, part of a collection worth over $12 billion. During World War II, Buckingham Palace was bombed 9 times. And yet King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, later known as the Queen Mother, refused to leave. They stayed in London, sharing the risks with their people. The image of the royal family standing among bombed rubble became a symbol of national defiance. Perhaps the most famous feature is the balcony overlooking the mall. From V-Day celebrations to royal weddings and jubilees, it is where the royal family appears before the people. A single balcony that has become one of the most iconic symbols of monarchy in the modern world. 5. Antilia, Mumbai, $4.6 billion. Our next stop is not a centuries-old palace but a skyscraper, the most expensive private home ever built. Antilia, in Mumbai, India. Commissioned by billionaire Mukesh Ambani and completed in 2010, Antilia rises 27 stories above the city. 400,000 square feet. Equivalent in height to a 60-story tower, but designed as a vertical palace. Every detail is excess. A garage for 168 cars. A 50-seat private cinema. Multiple swimming pools. A ballroom for lavish events. And the most famous feature, a snow room, generating artificial snowflakes in a city where summer temperatures climb above 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Each floor is unique. No 2 levels share the same materials or layout. The building is designed to withstand magnitude 8 earthquakes. And 3 rooftop helipads bypass Mumbai's chaotic traffic. It is also controversial. The land was once owned by an orphanage, leading to legal disputes and protests about inequality. Because while the Ambani family lives in a $4.6 billion tower, millions of people outside live in poverty. Antilia is both admired and criticized. To some, it is a marvel of engineering and design, a new kind of palace for the 21st century. To others, it is a glaring symbol of extreme inequality. But one thing is certain, it has redefined what a palace can be in the modern age. 6. Istana Nurul Iman, Brunei, $3.4 billion. Our journey ends in Brunei, where oil wealth built the largest residential palace in the world. Istana Nurul Iman. Commissioned by Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah and completed in 1984, the palace cost $1.4 billion to build, but today is valued at $3.4 billion. It holds the Guinness World Record as the world's largest residential palace. Its name means Palace of the Light of Faith, and it is both the royal residence and a symbol of Brunei's Islamic identity. The numbers alone are staggering. 1,788 rooms. 257 bathrooms. A banquet hall that can seat 5,000 guests. A mosque for 1,500 worshippers. The Sultan's garage houses 110 rare cars. The stables, air-conditioned, house 200 polo ponies. Inside, 564 chandeliers and over 51,000 light bulbs create a nighttime spectacle visible from space. When the Sultan hosts a dinner, the palace becomes a stage of soft power, dazzling visitors with Brunei's wealth. During religious festivals, the gold domes and glowing lights transform it into a beacon seen across the nation. Istana Nurul Iman isn't just the world's largest palace. It is a monument to what happens when oil wealth meets royal ambition. Bigger than Versailles and the Vatican combined, it remains the ultimate symbol of royal excess.